Week 34 of my coronavirus log. Details and description are below, and here's the general outline. Thank you. Saturday, October 31st, Halloween. All I did today for Halloween is I put out a table with two big bowls of candy. I'm like, yeah, in a COVID world, take what you want, kids. So I'll pull it in at like 9 o'clock. Seems to be working fine. Good time last night. I actually went and met my friend Brendan and my friend Maggie out at Albany Distilling, caught up with them for a little bit, and actually did the same thing this afternoon with my friends Frank and Lori, who are getting ready to head south to Snowbird in Florida for the winter. COVID continues to get worse, set a new high yesterday. I think it was 99,000 or 100,000 new cases in the day, set a quote-unquote world record. So it's just continued to look shitty. Yeah, also in sad news, Sean Connery died today, or I guess maybe last night. Loved him as Bond in The Highlander, The Untouchables. He was just the man. So 90 years old. That's it. Just watched The Mandalorian, kind of hanging out with Sammy. Sunday, November 1st. Daylight savings time was last night, so we fell back an hour, got an extra hour of sleep. I'm just hanging out, drinking coffee. I got my Lincoln Project mug here, and reading some magazines. I got some free subscriptions with something that I bought. So I got Esquire and GQ that I used to read like when I was in my 20s, and it's funny, just the ridiculous fashion advice that's in there. I don't know who's following it, but it's like there's like, oh, here's the hot items, and I'm no fashionista. I could care what I dress how I dress, but like they're recommending, it's like, oh, here's a pair of socks, and it's $175 for a pair of socks. Who the fuck is wearing $175 socks? Anyways, election is in 2 days. God, I hope we vote Trump out. It looks like Biden is leading in the polls. Of course, it looked like Hillary was going to win 4 years ago, too. So Biden's got a path to it. Look at the New York Times kind of breaking down the electoral votes by state. And it's also interesting to look at it by, okay, here's just a geographical map of the U.S., and what's leaning Democrat, Republican, what's a toss-up. And then you look at this view, and I'll share it, of it as a weighted by the number of electoral votes based on population, and it really shows just how, it's where the population is. It doesn't matter that, the whole state of Wyoming, which is a big state, or Alaska or something like that. It's like, okay, it's people that vote, not geography. So, the candidates have been spending a lot of time in these big areas that are either that are tight races. The toss-up states are Florida, Texas, Georgia, Ohio, North Carolina, Arizona, and Iowa, and obviously a lot of electoral votes that are going. Florida's a key one. Texas probably will go Republican. It usually does. There was actually an incident there where a bunch of Trump supporters tried to run off the Biden bus, not with him on it, but just a campaign bus, and actually footage of them trying to, running into one of the cars. It's freaking scary. It's like the brown shirts in Nazi Germany. And then some of the tight races that they're reporting, they're leaning Democratic right now, but that's Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So we'll see what happens. Coronavirus continued to be bad. The UK announced they're shutting down restaurants and bars, and also in the news, Fauci's come out and said, "Look, we're heading in the wrong direction." He was critical of this Dr. Atlas, who is the doctor that Trump is now listening to because he's telling him what he wants to hear. Dude's not even a specialist. I mean, he's like a neurologist. And so, of course, the White House came out and is attacking Dr. Fauci, trying to say he's like a Democratic plant or something like that he's trying to sway the election. I think Fauci's just like, he's just going to speak the truth as far as science. I trust Fauci over either Biden or Trump, because that's what he does, So, hope everybody's safe and well. And, 2 more days. Got Monday and then Tuesday. It would be nice if everything gets resolved on Tuesday, but I think no matter what happens on Tuesday, I can't see Trump conceding. I think he's going to try and kick it to the Supreme Court that they've, loaded with 6 GOP judges now. Christ, trying not to stress out. Monday, November 2nd, Election Day Eve. The tension across the country is palpable. You see it in the news, everybody you talk to, no matter which side you're on. I'm anxious, stressed about it. I'm trying not to let myself get too worked up. I think another 4 years of Trump would be disastrous. I've been pretty clear about that. I am hoping that we do the right thing and vote him out. But we'll see. I don't think it'll be decided tomorrow. I think even if it's a clear victory for Biden, which I would love to have it be just an overwhelming, irrefutable win, I don't see Trump conceding. I think he's going to try and, go to lawyers, drag it out, and not concede that it's a legitimate election if he loses. Of course, if he wins, it will be legitimate. So, I don't know. I hope America does the right thing, and the right thing is to get rid of Donald Trump. Well, it's finally here, Tuesday, November 3rd, just getting up. I think I'm going to take little videos throughout the day. Election day, we'll see how it goes and what gets resolved today and what we know by the end of the day. So just hunkering down to work, decided to go with, instead of my normal business schedule, go with my Joe Strummer. This is not a time to dismay. This is punk rock time. This is what Joe Strummer trained you for. Shirt, along with my true comb over watch. And, of course, my Lincoln Project mug. It's going to be a long day. I know that you probably won't know the result tonight, but it's still stressful. Early afternoon, not long after lunch. Slow day. A lot of people are out at work for election day. Yeah, it's just crawling by. Intellectually, I know that there won't be a result until, unlikely to be tonight. Most likely it'll be tomorrow or maybe even Thursday. But emotionally, I'm like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So, serenity now. All right, so 5:15. Polls are going to be closed in about 45 minutes in some areas. I just talked to my daughter. She's getting ready to go vote up in Vermont. The polls close at 7. I have poured myself a whiskey and ginger ale. I won't have too many tonight, but I figured one wouldn't hurt to calm the nerves. We'll see how the night goes. I'm not expecting results tonight, but it'll be interesting to see how they come in. I'll certainly have the TV and be watching it.
We're watching.
All right, here I am torturing myself watching this shit. It's so early. It's only 7 o'clock.
We have our first projection of the night. CNN now projects President Donald Trump will win Indiana. Trump beats Biden in Indiana, wins its 11 electoral votes, the first projection of the night. It's too early to call in these states right now. Too early to call in Georgia, a key battleground state with 16 electoral votes. Too early to call there. In Virginia, too early to call there, 13 electoral votes.
It's going to be a long fucking night, and they're still not going to be decided.
Look at this, see what's going on. In Florida right now, 35, more than a third of the vote is now, the estimated vote is now.
Biden.
Biden has a lead of nearly 100,000.
Florida's going to drive me fucking crazy. This whole thing's going to drive me crazy.
I
should just go to bed, watch a movie, and just check on this tomorrow, but I can't seem to do that. All right, so it looks like Biden's going to lose Florida as far as I can tell, but he's ahead in North Carolina and Georgia and Ohio, actually. Let's see what happens, though. But I'm going to shift from the Mancave to bed, and I actually switched from CNN to CBS, only because CNN, it's like, as much as I criticize Fox for being propaganda, really right-wing, CNN tends to be that way, the left-wing, so I wanted something a little bit narrower. My buddies had recommended PBS, but I don't get it because I got Hulu. So either way, I'm going to bed, or at least I will continue to watch just from bed. I probably won't go to sleep for another couple hours. It's I don't know, about 9 o'clock now. They got more polls closing up out west. I think Michigan, Wisconsin, and stuff are going to close, so we should get some more information from those. Ready to get her to move. Come on, Tammy. Come on. Move over so Daddy can lay down. Come on. Here, up, come on. Up. There you go. Thank you. She's like, but I was asleep. Oh, I'm going to have to go to bed soon. Switch to NBC, 89.72. NPR is a little bit of call. Let's call some more states that these guys haven't. But either way, I'm not going to stay up all night. That's it. I can't take anymore. It is where it is. They were just talking about how it's going to take 3 days for Pennsylvania to count all its votes anyway. And it makes me think about Rick Wilson from Lincoln Project, and what they were saying yesterday is like, look, at the mantra needs to be tomorrow night, fuck you, keep counting. And I think that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to just see, I think you're going to have to see the votes keep coming in. The one thing Chris Christie just said on ABC is that it certainly does not look like it's going to be a landslide for Biden like they were hoping. So, but now I'm just hoping that it's at least a win. So we'll see. I'll pull up the NPR stuff to see where it stands as I go to bed, try and get some sleep. All right, it's almost 1 a.m. and I'm still up. I tried to go to sleep. No luck. I'm kind of glad I didn't. I kept checking the results, and then the Lincoln Project did a live stream. And so checked in on that, calmed me way down.
Let's talk about Pennsylvania for just a moment, okay? Most of the polling averages have this at a 5 to 7 point range. We are seeing extremely high turnout in places like Philadelphia, which is where the heaviest vote count is going to come in. It's going to take a couple of days to process all of the absentee ballots, so we need to be patient as we do go through the vote counting process. But as I mentioned, in a lot of these strong blue counties, like Allegheny County, we're seeing pretty significant overperformance from Joe Biden off of Hillary Clinton's numbers in 2016. I'm also looking at indicators like Ohio. We never had Ohio on our map. We never thought it was going to be competitive. Joe Biden is like within half a percentage point at this point in time as Ohio is coming down to the wire. Why is that important? It's important because the demographics of Ohio are not too dissimilar from Western Pennsylvania. It gives us a really good insight as to what's going to happen as that vote shrink, that overwhelming Trump vote that happened in 2016 is mitigated. Remember, Trump won Ohio by 5. He's now about neck and neck. That 5-point swing is what's going to mitigate that conservative deep MAGA country in Pennsylvania while we drive up the vote totals in places like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Puts us in a very strong position to win. Not dissimilar to what we're going to see in the other Great Lakes states, right? The demography of these places are not too bad. In fact, I'm looking at Iowa right now. Iowa has Biden up 5 points. Biden should not be up 5 points. That's a very strong performance in this part of the country. A lot of it has to do with the COVID outbreak that we've been talking about and focusing on for some time. Iowa, Wisconsin specifically have been states that have been particularly hard hit, and we're seeing those results coming in very strongly right now. One quick last point, and I'm sorry for going on so long. We also chose and resourced Arizona. We also chose to resource Arizona very specifically for this eventuality. We knew that as the most western state that had the best viability for moving towards Biden, it would be an insurance policy if the map got a little funky. That's precisely what's happened. So that's why we have been buying into this state and targeting this demographic, not too dissimilar for the reasons we were in Texas, by the way. And what we're seeing is extremely strong performance in Maricopa County. In fact, the distance is so significant between Biden, who's ahead, and Trump, who's behind in that county, that we don't think that there's probably much room for him to catch up, for Trump to catch up and actually win Arizona. Arizona's looking very good. Those 11 electoral votes, I think, are going to be solidly in that in our column and provide a pretty good insurance policy in the possibility of any one of those other states with, again, pretty wide margins for Biden at this point in time, not performing the way that we expect.
To your point, as you were talking, Fox News actually called Arizona for Biden.
Okay, so bank the 11,
Right.
just go off the numbers we got. Bank the 11, that gets us to 216. All right, now you've got the upper Midwest. Georgia's still out there. North Carolina hasn't been called yet. So you're taking your 216 electoral votes and you're swinging into Minnesota, where Biden is up 55-43 with 78% in. You then travel into Wisconsin, 71% expected reported. Trump is up 52-47, but that's same day. They haven't counted.
Right. Hey,
Michigan.
Michael, I just want to jump in because Joe Biden's getting ready to
just
speak.
called it for Minnesota, and we're still in the game in Georgia, although that's not one we expected. And we're feeling real good about Wisconsin and Michigan. And by the way, it's going to take time to count the votes. We're going to win Pennsylvania. I've been talking to folks in Philly, Allegheny County, Scranton, and they're really encouraged by the turnout and what they see. Look, you know, we could know the results as early as tomorrow morning. But it may take a little longer, as I've said all along. It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome.
They're like, look, Trump hasn't won anything that we didn't expect him to win, whereas it looks like Biden is going to win Arizona, which was kind of a flip. So that's something that Trump was expected to win. That's 11 electoral votes for him. And they've got a path. They think he's going to win Pennsylvania. Think he's going to win the like Wisconsin, Michigan, and those states through there. So I think they're like, look, we think Biden's still going to win. It's obvious it's not going to be a blue wave that it's like, a huge majority that knocks him out. But as long as you get him out. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. Looks like it's going to take Pennsylvania a couple of days, maybe Wisconsin a couple of days. But let me check the totals right now. All right, so Biden's at 223 at almost 1 in the morning. So he's got to get to 270. Got the dog snoring over here. So she's not all that concerned about it. So hopefully I can get some sleep. We'll check it again in the morning. All right, Wednesday, the 4th of November. Still no definitive results from the election last night. Trump did what everybody kind of expected him to do, which was come out and claim victory and say that anything that, that if he loses, it's a stolen election, and wants to take it to the Supreme Court, which they've been telegraphing that's what they wanted to do all along. But the fact is, they got to count all the votes, and it takes time. And because of all the mail-in ballots, it's going to take longer than normal, especially some of the states where they didn't start counting ahead of time, that the whatever rules they have in guiding their election process says, hey, you can't start counting until the day of election, until the polls close, whatever. So we'll see. Still disheartening to see so many people embrace Trumpism, in my opinion, which is sexism, racism, ignorance, cruelty, just not good things that I think don't represent America. But the sad thing is, maybe it does. Maybe we're the bad guys now. I hope not. But hopefully at least Biden will win and we'll kind of step away from the brink of fascism. Sitting here trying to work with the IT help desks, get my computer squared away. They're controlling it remotely. So I'm like, just what I wanted after this fucking stressful night. But we'll keep going. This is going to be longer than normal because I'm going to check in kind of throughout this process. And fuck it if it's a long video. I still want to document this. So Michigan got called for Biden. So he's at 264 now. I don't think the AP's called yet, but Politico did, CNN did, New York Times did. So just hoping Nevada or one of the, maybe Pennsylvania or something like that turns for him, but it's close. Fingers crossed. Damn it, I'm so distracted that I'm making freaking scrambled eggs with ham, and I forgot to put margarine down, or butter down beforehand. Now it's all sticking to the freaking pan. Damn it. Thursday morning, November 5th. So Michigan did get called by the AP, so it's at 264 still. Pennsylvania is working through it. The lead Trump has is definitely shrinking as they get all those mail-in ballots and stuff around Philly and Pittsburgh. Same thing in Georgia, where all the ballots coming in from in and around Atlanta are being counted. Biden might take Georgia as well. Waiting on Nevada. It's interesting. You've got Trump supporters and Trump himself alternately saying stop the count where he's ahead, and then keep counting where he's behind. And he's filing lawsuits all over the place. So we'll see. Nevada's supposed to report, I want to say at like 11 this morning. If hopefully Biden gets Nevada, that's 270. That's it, except for whatever court stuff ends up happening afterwards. But let's chug it along. Oh, in other news, COVID could give a shit about the election, and X set another record high, like 100,000 people infected, I think either yesterday or the day before. So you're seeing Europe shut down even more. The UK already did. Italy actually put in some severe travel restrictions and stuff. So it's going to be a fucking long winter. All right, so much focus on the election, and the things a little closer to home. It's nice that actually the grass seed I planted is starting to come in. That's good news. And hopefully that will grow no matter who gets elected.
Still some to count.
Pennsylvania.
They're working incredibly hard. They're going to keep counting into the evening. And, stay tuned.
About 6:45. Still waiting on the counting to be done. looks like Nevada's getting close. Pennsylvania, you saw just previously the Secretary of State speak. I don't know if that's going to be done tonight or maybe tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be tight, but I think Biden's got a good shot at getting Pennsylvania. Nevada, it all comes down to what the votes come in. They're pretty confident he's going to get Nevada. Arizona's interesting. Both Fox and the AP called it for Biden on election night. Yet it's still not. The New York Times isn't putting it in the column yet. I think he's likely to win, but they want to hold off. Georgia, bunch of votes coming in from the Atlanta metro area. It's really tight. That could put it above and give it to Biden, but it's going to be super tight. All these, there's probably going to be challenges and recounts and stuff. North Carolina look like it's going to go to Trump. It's closer than I would have expected for North Carolina. But I'm hoping they call Nevada and Pennsylvania, then it'll be game over. Actually talked to a college buddy of mine, good friend of mine down in Maryland, and he volunteered at a poll yesterday on election day. Good for him. He said he's actually a sportscaster. So he said he worked his tail off, but he was also super impressed with just people from both sides of the aisle just trying to make the process work. And he's probably close to my views. Not as quite as vocal and crazy about it as I am lately, but the one thing we both agreed that we're the most upset with Trump is that he's feeding this uncertainty and this lack of trust in the election process, which is such an important part of our democracy. That's what frustrates me, is the discontent and distrust he's putting into that system. It's like chewing away at the foundation. Never mind moral values and blah, blah, blah. But that the foundation of America is trust in the electoral process. And the fact that that's not there, that he's undermining that and claiming fraud and all this stuff scares the shit out of me. But we'll continue to watch, see what happens. Holy shit, just watch fucking President Trump speak. Crazy talk. Basically saying all sorts of illegal votes and shit like this, and just conspiracy theories, QAnon type shit. Biggest threat to democracy in my lifetime. What a fucking embarrassment.
Results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later, and they certainly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all. I think almost all. They all had the name Biden on them, which is a little strange. I challenge Joe and every Democrat to clarify that they only want legal votes, because they talk about votes, and I think they should use the word legal votes. We want every legal vote counted, and I want every legal vote counted. We want openness and transparency, no secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election Day, and the laws are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and they don't want votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, we want an honest count, and we want honest people working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States will win. And we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation, because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation, because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you, and I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy to handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be hopefully cleared up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, and we can both claim the states, but ultimately I have a feeling judges are going to have to rule. But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and we can't stand for that in our country. Thank you very much.
What a sad night. for the United States of America to hear their president say that, to falsely accuse people of trying to steal the election, to try to attack democracy that way with this feast of falsehoods.
Yeah, I'm kind of losing my shit on social media just a little bit. Plus, if you're going to steal the election, why wouldn't you win the Senate, too? So here we are at 10 o'clock where we stand. It's still freaking tight. It's almost midnight. The race has been tightening, but nothing declared yet. I got to hit the rack here soon. Friday, November 6th. So overnight, Biden overtook Trump in Georgia and in Pennsylvania. So they're still sorting through stuff, but it's looking like more and more it's going to be inevitable that Biden's going to win. He's actually speaking tonight. So we'll see how it continues to go. There's going to have to do a recount in Georgia. It's so close for sure. And, Trump's got all sorts of legal challenges and stuff. And a lot of Republicans have come out. Some have come out just lockstep with the president saying it's all fraud and cheating. A lot have come out and said, whoa, unless you've got proof, this is not the way to go about it. So interesting. Also, John Legend really did a great cover of Ray Charles, Georgia. And I'll share that after this.
Oh, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Hey, 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 Georgia, oh, Georgia. I love you, Georgia.
So Friday night about 7:15. I normally would have published this and had it out there by now. Not that anybody gives a shit. But still waiting on key states to be called, particularly Pennsylvania. Maybe that'll happen tonight. Still a lot of votes out there. Biden's supposed to speak tonight. I don't know if he's going to claim victory or if it's going to be more of these just be patient and let the process work. Trump's still tweeting up a storm, but CNN actually just said something about how he's starting to talk with his close staff that, hey, maybe this isn't going to work out, which is a big deal. That said, he's certainly going to pull every lever he can as far as legal angles and suits and stuff like that. And you got recounts down in Georgia, etc. So we'll see. Hopefully this gets closed. It won't get closed out, but I'm hoping for a call tonight, and then I'll wrap this up. But if not, then rolls into next week. It rolls into next week. So Biden just spoke. God, he's not the best speaker, but it just feels so heartfelt that it comes across really well, at least to me. Of course, I'm sure he sounds like the devil to Trumpers. But basically saying, hey, you got to wait for the count. He's like, it's apparent we're going to win. It's just inevitable. It's just a matter of time. All votes need to be counted. And then talked about how he and Kamala Harris have already started meeting with teams on, to health experts to address the COVID crisis, as well as economic experts. So, and then just kind of a message of unity. Hey, look at these things, a lot of tension. These things are hard. And hopefully we'll be back tomorrow, basically kind of, I think, alluding to hopefully they call the state.
We don't have a final declaration of victory yet, but the numbers tell us it's clear. Tell us a clear and convincing story. We're going to win this race. We're on track to over 300 electoral college votes. And look at the national numbers. We're going to win this race with a clear majority of the nation behind us. We've gotten over 74 million votes. Let me repeat that. 74 million votes. That's more than any presidential ticket has ever gotten in the history of the United States of America. I know watching these vote tallies on TV moves very slow, and as slow as it goes, it can be numbing. But never forget, the tallies aren't just numbers. They represent votes and voters. Men and women who exercise their fundamental right to have their voice heard. While we're waiting for the final results, I want people to know we're not waiting to get the work done and start the process. Yesterday, Senator Harris and I held meetings with groups of experts on public health and the economic crisis this country is facing. Look, we both know tensions are high. They can be high after a tough election, one like we've had. But we need to remember, we have to remain calm, patient, Let the process work out as we count all the votes. You know, we're proving again what we've proved for 244 years in this country. Democracy works.
Watch him fucking call the state like 5 minutes after this for Pennsylvania. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the night, though. I think I'll wait till the morning to post this, though, just in case something does happen overnight. I'll just add it on to this. And holy shit, Mark Meadows, Trump's chief of staff, has the Rona. It's a guy that would refuse to wear a mask, refused to walk away from reporters because they asked him to wear a mask. These fucking guys, Jesus. And sadly, another new record for coronavirus infections. Here's the part where I talk about music. Music this week, you got Bare Naked Ladies with a Public Enemy cover of Fight the Power from the soundtrack of Coneheads. Then Quarantine Vinyl is the Smithereens Blood and Roses. And then during the unboxing session, you've got Whirling Blackout Coastal Fever with French Press, Big Audio Dynamite with both Medicine Show and Contact, and then Inhaler, My Honest Face.
Thank you, Jason Keller. You dug this out. It's Bare Naked Ladies doing a cover of Fight the Power by Public Enemy. I guess from the soundtrack of Coneheads. I just got done reading a Spike Lee and David Byrne interview with Esquire, too. Obviously, this song was Do the Right Thing.
What did Craig get from Amazon? All right, so last week I mentioned how great Amazon was. And of course, Amazon giveth and Amazon taketh away. My mailman, Matt, gave me a heads up about this. But so this was supposed to be Green Day's Dookie vinyl. And it shows up and he's like, you got an empty package coming today. So somehow it didn't end up, it just ended up being an empty box that got shipped. So Amazon's taking care of it, but still. I took a trip to a place in Troy, this record store I haven't been to before, the River Street Beach Shop. Ended up talking to the guy there. It's nice. Sounds like they're going to try and do record store day. So I've got some vinyl there. Australian band Rolling Blockhouse Coastal Fever. This is some of the only new stuff they had. They had a lot of new stuff. So this is a Sub Pop. And then I got some 12-inch singles. Big Audio Dynamite, Mick Jones, formerly of The Clash. Smithereens. These guys were great. I saw them at Colgate when I was in high school or maybe still in college. It's a great band. Actually, I think it was, Pat Finozio. He's got passed away a couple of years ago. And then another Big Audio Dynamite 12-inch. So, nice little haul. Cool little place. All right, some more vinyl. I think this is stuff that I got that I did not get on my trip to Syracuse for Record Store Day, but I did find on eBay. I acknowledge that kind of defeats the purpose of Record Store Day. Wrapped in the newspaper here. Nice. Yeah, so this is Inhaler. This is actually, oh, nice. This is a record store, it looks like, in Round Rock, Texas. So this band, it's an Irish band, and actually, I don't know if it's the lead singer or not, but Bono from U2, his kid is actually part of this band. So Inhaler is made up of, it was formed in 2012 out of Dublin, originally formed at St. Andrews College, Black Arts, Dublin. Band consists of vocalist guitarist Elijah Hewson, which is Bono's actual real given name. Bassist Robert Keating, guitarist Josh Jenkinson, and drummer Ryan McMahon. All right, another watch. So, and this is from Timex. Another one of the Peanuts collection. Very appropriate for the current weather today. I think you'll like this. Box a little beat up here, but the dog's barking at somebody. All right, let me zoom in here so you can see this. Oh, good Lord. Always the fun part, watching me try and open these things. All right. Take a closer look at this Timex Standard X Peanuts edition here. It's celebrating autumn, and you got Snoopy and Woodstock jumping into a pile of leaves there. 40 millimeter case, stainless steel. It's 9 millimeters thick, 20 millimeters bandwidth. The band itself it's kind of neat. It's like a tan color, but you've got the numbers there as far as along the different holes there. The same thing that Timex always has with the Red Wing tan leather. Otherwise, just kind of a standard watch. I like the band itself. I'm enjoying all the special release Peanut stuff. There's more out there. They had a Halloween edition. They've got some Christmas stuff, but get a kick out of it. All right, this I'm excited to get. It's the monthly Pint-Sized Punk. I love that they make it out to the fabulous Craig McAvoy. Cracks me up. So it's Mancave Friday today too. I've actually got to go in and order this month's. I know he's talking about trying to do a subscription. Oh, he's come a long ways. Wow, this is actually pretty nice compared to the previous one. He's come a long ways in the, what is this, the 6th one, I think it is, issue number 5. All right, this is going to be much less exciting. Most likely these are peas. Yay, peas.